Hey everybody, Jay Jennings here. We are getting just a couple minutes away from doing our next MLS webinar on CRS tax data search. So hang in there and we'll jump on board here in just a matter of a couple minutes, okay? Well, good afternoon, everybody. Jay Jennings here with your MLS support team. Thank you for joining us for another MLS training video. We've got a good amount of folks online with us today, so hopefully those joining walk away with a few ahas about how to use the CRS tax data search tool. And I'm going to give you some good information, hopefully, on how to do some property reports, how to access some good information on the maps, prospecting, as well as some other links so that if you ever wanted to do some additional training outside of this webinar, you can always access that, whether it's 6 in the morning, 6 at night. So it's there all the time for you. And again, we appreciate that how you folks are adapting out in the field, and we are trying to do the same as your MLS and association to deliver viable content to you to keep you engaged with buyers and sellers. So get on with it. So take a look at what we'll be covering. I'm going to move on to PowerPoint and let's talk about what's on today's menu. So like I said, we're going to be showing you how to create property reports through a seller's name, an address, MLS number, a subdivision. Ways you would do normal searches in the MLS, apply in the CRS tax data tool. Within those reports, we're going to be looking at sales history, mortgage history, foreclosure history. We'll also look at owner information, tax assessments. Within those reports, I'll show you how to access the county revenue departments reports for that same property. If that's something your eye is used to looking at, I'll show you that. Legal descriptions, as well as some interesting things we could walk away with that people, not everyone are using, is the map tool within a proper report. For instance, a lot of times people are looking for, we have a unique MLS area that you can do a search by. We have a default overlay for all of Baldwin County, so you can determine what actual area that a property would fall under. Many times it could be right on the border, so this will help. We're also looking at how flood zones and overlay and maps there that critical right now for sometimes we got a lot of new construction going on in the area. So imagine what a great tool it was, somebody along Eastern Shore or Gulf Shore Beach who want to be somewhere near the waterways, to say you can do an aerial shot and say, hey, listen, this for sale, you may or may not require flood insurance on. So what a great insight for on that, right? So, hey, we'll take a look at that. And then finally, we'll wrap up with some technical, reach out for some questions about the product, you can reach out to the MLS, CRS, and again, some of those links if you wanted to do something on your own. So I'm going to switch back real quick on the screen here, and we are going to actually log on to Paragon, and we're going to do some online training to show you guys what it looks like, how to access the tools we'll be talking about today. So our Paragon home screen, and we have icons at the top here. Where we're going to find the CRS tax data tool is right here. If you can follow my cursor right there under the tax icon. If I click on that icon, there will be a drop down. And what we'll be covering today is on this side right here, tax integrations, data, tax, pull property reports. We'll also be looking at touching upon the tax data. You can use this. You'll see they're both for Alabama and Florida. So if you have to start, let's say, a listing or a subject property, you can use this tool to plug in all the information about a property on or off the market tool and start creating your listing, saving you valuable amounts of time, right? About entering in bedroom, square footage, to enter into a listing is now done for you. That's a really neat feature that we'll be covering. And then finally, we'll be covering in another class more, but check out this property watch right here. This is a brand new feature by Paragon that's added that allows you to enter in through a map search, that if you start a map search and add a property to my property watch, and there's a change within the tax record or in the MS status or what, but again, what's something more is just a property going active or pending, that you could see a property go into foreclosure. You could see a property transfer deed. So a lot of cool things you eye on to get some maybe market insight to buyers or sellers that this tool may be helpful for. So I like this, and we'll be covering all three of those aspects. But right now, let's take a look at what happens if we just go to Tax Integrations, CRS Tax Search. All right, once you click on that, it is going to pull you right into the CRS. Single sign-on, you don't have to worry about any username or logins information. We're right in the screen. And some of the things I want to point out to you from the beginning is at the top of the screen of the search area, there's going to be two main tabs, okay? Property search and prospecting, okay? You can see if I click on that, that'll highlight, and it'll switch over. But let's stick with property searches now. Prospecting is another great tool that we already had a class on, but we can touch on later. But this is, I wanted to show you a couple things, and we'll work our way down slowly. We can look at properties, we can look at foreclosures right here, but we're just going to do simple property searches for the sake of this class and time. But look at what defaults right here, Baldwin County, Alabama. If you were to click in that field, there are 5 service areas that we include in our MLS. So there you can see, and all this tax data is available, not just for Baldwin County, but as you can see, Conecuh County, Alabama. You can look at Escambia County, Alabama, Mobile County, Alabama, and Escambia County, Florida. Okay, so those are the 5 counties that if you want to click on, you can do searches on and get the information that you're looking for. But let's keep it to Baldwin County and see how this looks like. So if I were to scroll down a little bit more, there's something I wanted to show you here, is that you will find out that if there are properties that I just got done searching, it's going to hold on to those for me. So if I wanted to go back to 1524 West Beach Boulevard, I could just click on that and the property report would pull up. But I wanted to show you, let's do a brand new search. Like I said, there's some, and if I had some saved property searches in this column, that would also pull up. We can do an advanced search and map search, but let's just look at a very simple search right up here. Again, it'll tell you, we can search by owner's name, the address of the property, subdivision, which also includes condo complexes. So that's one thing to remember. If you want to find a condo complex, subdivision would be the way to go under that same criteria. So PPIN number, if you have that, that's an easy way of getting a very specific parcel search for, let's say, a tract of land. Parcel IDs, probably most people aren't going to have. That's a very lengthy number, but I don't see that being used as much. Or MLS number. So that's another great tool that, hey, if you have one of your listings, plug that in there, the property will come right up. So let's see what happens here if we started typing in, let's say for the Baldwin County Association of Realtors address. So if we started typing in 23280, what we will see is all the different properties that would start showing up. So if we went, you can see what happened here in this result, US Highway 90. There just happens to be another property right down the road from us that's on Highway 90, but we're on County Road 65. So we could hit view more. Okay, or just start typing in County Road and you see 23280 County Road. That might be a little confusing because it just so happens that there's two exact same street numbers within a very close proximity. But let's go ahead and click on County Road right here. And once you do that, it's going to pull up for you what options you have. There's one we're looking for. We don't want County Road 47. We want County Road 65 because we can tell right here, the owner is Baldwin County Association of Realtors, right? The owners for this one are somebody different. So let's click on that link and we're going to get our property report. Let's show you what displays on that property report. Okay, so this actually, I have created a testing listing, a test listing that I can go in there and work on the back end of things when we're putting in new statuses. And that's why you see this picture here. This is actually in the MLS an off-market status right now. But you'll see if it is in the MLS, the main photo and all the other photos would show up. If it was an off-market property, it could show a past photo when it was previously listed in the MLS, or just a parcel picture, okay? What we've got down here is, here's our address, okay, subdivision, here's our PPIN information, all right, owner, here's the property type. So good information. What I was saying though earlier though, if your eye is used to seeing this same information, but in a Baldwin County revenue report, you can actually click on right here, the county's assessor report. Let's go ahead and click on that and see what it looks like. There it is. Same information, just in a way that you may have been used to seeing in the past. Okay, so you can use that. All right, let's go back to the report just by clicking on the tab. If you click on the assessor's report, it will open up a new tab in your browser. So I just clicked on the last tab I had open for CRS tax search. You can see all the tax assessments, mortgage history if there was any, foreclosure history, property characteristics. So, and at the bottom, legal description and FEMA flood zones, which is something I want to segue into. Because if we go back into this area, there should be a map here, but what I'm going to do is click on View Larger Map. Once I click on that, the first thing I want you guys to point out is that it defaults. There's a default overlay for this property that will tell you what MLS area this parcel is in. So here it's highlighted. All right, Baldwin County Association of Realtors, but you can see right here, I can drag and click it around the map, but CBC, and what area is that in MLS? Central Baldwin County. So let me show you how that looks. So if I were going to go to the map here and I could, let's say if I wanted to scroll out a little bit by using the plus and minus, I'm hitting the minus sign to scroll out. You can see now I'm pulling out and I can drag the map by left clicking and then dragging. Then we can see all the other areas. There's Fairhope 7, Fairhope 1, Daphne 2. Let's scroll down in these areas by using the map here and hitting plus. Okay, and I can drag over. You can see the more I drill down by hitting plus, the parcels become much, much easier to see, right? So the reason why I point this out, I'm gonna keep drilling down here a little bit further. And I want to show you this. Let's see. Okay, great. So now we're in Fairhope. What you can do, you can move outside of the property you're working on. And I want to show you this. Let's actually move our cursor and we'll just pick a couple different parcels just out of the randomness here. I'm going to click on this one, left click. There's the property, 404 Grand Avenue. It says last sale date, which is 6/10. Last sale price, right? If you wanted to go look at this property, just like we did for the association, you could click on View Report and open up all the information there for that particular property. Okay, so that's really, really cool. Again, you can move around. Let's take a look at this parcel. There it says the actual owner, last sale date, purchase price. Okay, but why am I pointing this out? Just that, well, one, again, you can find information about parcels very quickly. But if you go to this top left-hand corner here in the map area under change layers, let's click on that. You can see now you can change some of the things up. You can look at foreclosures, MLS areas can be on or off. So you can see right here, if I click off the area map, the default one off, but click it back on, there it comes back on. So let's just leave it off. What I'm going to do, I'm going to click on FEMA flood zones. And I want to show you this. This is, I think, some great insight for buyers and sellers. So look at that, guys. So look at, if we scroll down a little bit more, maybe, look at this. So if somebody was looking to buy property and they love this area on Gayfer Court, you can see the map, the flood map, say it comes into these parcels, right? Comes over and touches that parcel, very close to this one, but all these ones right here may not, I'm just saying, you might do some homework on it, but based on the current flood maps that we have, you're out of a flood zone, okay? So you can drag that map around and say, hey, maybe you're more comfortable living a block over across the street on Section Street or somewhere over here, you know? So those are, I think that FEMA flood map is really, really awesome. So if you want to go back to the property report from there, you can see up top, I'm going to go to right here, back to property report. Okay, and it's going to take us right back to the one we originally looked for, right? There's Baldwin County, so we're back where we began. So anyway, I wanted to point that out to you that I think the mapping tool is really, really awesome. So let's go take a look at a couple other things I want to show you about prospecting, because here's a great tool. Let's say you had a recent closing and you wanted to reach out to some people within that subdivision or condo complex and say, hey, I know I did a really good job. I think I'm closing this. If you're interested or know somebody who may be interested in buying and selling in this subdivision or condo complex, here's my contact information. Great way to send out a letter or a postcard to a specific area of prospects. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So you would open it up the same way by clicking on the tax icon in Paragon, but instead of going to property search, we're going to go to prospecting. So I'm clicking on this and I want to make sure again, it always ends up on the right county, all right? Or else we'll be spinning our wheels looking for stuff in the wrong area. But then it gives you a blue bar along here. You can see as I roll over to change its colors, different ways that you can pick your criteria. You can do it by a map search. You can do it by zip code, which would be a very large cross section of prospects, right? Everybody within that zip code would be pulled up. You could go by street name, a radius. You can go by individual names if you want, but typically most people are probably going to use a map search or subdivision. So for today's example, I'm going to click on subdivision. All right. And to show you, let's use, let's figure out a condo to show you that still works. Even though it says subdivision name, just to point out, it will work for condos. So let's put in, what would be a good one? Let's put in Grand Caribbean. Okay, look, as soon as I start typing it, you can find it right there. There's Grand Caribbean condo right there. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay, cool. Got that in there. I could add more, but I'm going to hit update. Okay, so what does it show down below? By scrolling down, it's going to tell me, here's my prospect criteria. And let's say I wanted to reach out to owners in this condo complex I just sold a unit. You could actually, if you look down this bottom left-hand corner, you can go all owners, or you could go absentee owners, owner occupied. You can reach to people out of state, in state. And let me show you what happens when you change these buttons. So right now, I'm gonna scroll down just a little bit further so you can see this. Okay, right here. This is, we get prospect list right here. Right now, there are 102 properties or unit owners in Grand Caribbean right now. And that's because I collected all. But look what happens and say, if I clicked on absentee owner and out of state, that just dropped to 41. For whatever reason, if that's who you want to reach out to, maybe that's within your budget to reach out to. And so I just want to reach out to out of state, absentee owners that are out of state. Well, there's our 41 people. Here's another great tool, guys. So we don't violate any code of ethics kind of stuff by reaching out to properties already listed. Right here, you can hit remove. All right. You could click sold within the last 6 months because probably somebody who bought that unit isn't going to put it back on the market within first 6 months of owning it. I would click on that. You can also click on the system knows if that particular property is on the market in the MLS, don't reach out to them. So I want to remove currently for sale. And then all active listings, let's cover all our bases. So now look what happened, guys. That dropped down to 37. So you know there's 5 people we aren't going to upset as part of our peers and the professionals we work with. When their clients get a postcard, you know, and they say, hey, somebody's trying to you know, work you out of a deal kind of thing. This is a great tool to kind of make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, so now we've got 37 properties that we're going to work with. I'm going to continue to scroll down. You can see there's a list of all the owners, and you'll see that they're all the addresses: Mississippi, Tennessee, Michigan, Florida, Louisiana, right? All out-of-state owners. I'm going to go to proceed to labels and exports. When I do this, there'll be a couple more features that you'll want to kind of get your postcard or mailing label to look right. And that's how you want to look under export label options. You can skip records with no zip code. I would skip. These are all default settings, by the way. I'd leave these. Here's another great one on the top right. Remove exact duplicates. So, because let's say in somewhat like of a new development or condo complex, let's say that developer, let's say they got 2 towers and they're selling out tower 1 first and then tower 2. So this way, you're not going to, that developer doesn't go to his mailbox, opens it up, and he owns 57 units still. He doesn't go to his mailbox, and there's 57 postcards in his mailbox and says, hey, I'm a professional. You should really work with me. Like, why did you send me 57 postcards if you're such a professional, right? Probably not a good first impression. But so leave that default setting there, and you're not going to worry about that. Again, preferences, first name first, last name first, however you want that to display on the mailing label. Include Mr. or Mrs., okay? Again, all pretty much defaulting where you should be, but there's one thing you need to point out, and if you're taking any notes, this is one I would write down. The default for the labels that will be used in creating prospects will be Avery Labels 5160. That is right here. I'll let you write that down if you're doing it at the moment. But a default is Avery Labels 5160. So go on OfficeDepot.com if we can't go to the big box stores, right? And order some Avery Labels 5160. Right. So you can also pick 5161 or 5162, but the default is 5160. So what happens now is we'll go to the bottom of the screen. Let's create our labels. And that's it right here at the bottom. Create labels. Click on that yellow button. All right. Some browsers, you'll see at the bottom left of my corner, the screen here, that a PDF is created. Some of your browsers may just pull up the report right now. Could be on your screen. I'm going to click on this report, and there it is. All right. 1 of 2 pages. I've got all Mr. and Mrs. or current resident of the owners of Grand Caribbean that are out of state absentee owners right there. Okay. So what do you guys think about that? Hopefully that is a good tool to reach out, hopefully create some new potential business in the future after this COVID-19 goes away, right? So let's go back to Paragon, and let's go back to the home screen here and take a look at a couple of different features I'm going to point out. We should probably be done here in less than 10 minutes, guys. So we're trying to keep these about a half an hour, no more. So we know we're trying to doing other things, keep them busy, but let's kind of knock out what else is available under the tax icon. So I'm clicking on that again. Very quickly, I'm going to use the Alabama Tax Autofill tool. So if I click on Tax Autofill, there it is. There's one required field, which is county. So let's type in Baldwin. All right. I am going to use, let's use that same address for the association. So if I go under street number, this is if I'm trying to create a listing, 23280 in street number, and I hit enter, there are 5 in the searcher. There are 5 addresses in Baldwin County that have 23280 as the street number. I could type in a bunch of other things, but that's a pretty small list. I think I can find it if I just do a search right here and find the one I'm looking for. So here's the 5 properties that start with that address. And guess what, guys? 23280 County Road 65, Baldwin County Association of Realtors. That's what I'm looking for. I am going to click on that one. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, after I click on it, it'll highlight it in green. So you know you selected the right one. I'm going to move up, and in this taskbar, you will see Autofill. I am going to click on Autofill. It's going to ask me what class, if you're adding this as a listing, what class should I be dumping this information into, all right? This is for testing purposes, training purposes. We're going to say that this is a residential single family, okay, home. We click on that. He says, here's all the autofill data that I'm going to be putting in there. You can click or unclick any of the information. So if you wanted to get rid of the owner's name, you could unclick that right here, right there, Baldwin County Association of Realtors. You could hit save. All right, so what happens when I go to new residential single family? That's what I'm doing. If you can see that, I went over to the tab and I clicked on new residential single family. There's all the information it pulled in that started off. If I scroll down, property detail, okay? So let me get rid of this box here. There we go, I'm scrolling down, there we go. So there we can see PPIN number, parcel ID, legal description, area, okay? Taxes. So it's gonna put in a lot of the information for us ahead of time, okay? Which is great. So then you can just hit save as a partial and come back and enter it later. Okay. Must have a couple property types. So in order to finish that up, it's going to say, I'm going to put detached, save, listing effective date must be in there. So I'm just going to mark today, and expiration date, I'm going to mark as tomorrow. All right. This will go away pretty quickly. Save as a partial, top left under green, save as partial. I have now a partial listing under 26556. Okay, I'm going to hit finished. Okay. Okay, cool. So that's the other feature in tax data autofill. If you want to create a list, other people, just to show you real quick, most people click on listings and add a listing this way, residential single family, and it just brings you right back to the tax autofill. So it's just a way to circumvent clicking on that extra icon. Okay, so finally, what I'm going to show you is Property Watch will be another class because I want to wrap this up as close to 2:30 as possible. I said we're going to try and keep this to a half an hour, but I do want to show you this. Click on the tax icon. Let's go to CRS Data Tax Search. Guys, this is where if you want to find some additional resources that go above and beyond the information we covered today and really drill down and get specifics of this product. Okay, one thing is right, top right-hand corner, here's help. Okay, there's that. There are some help topics. All right, this is it just defaults to performing a simple property search, what we just went through, right? So it gives you a nice little step-by-step tool on how this works. Or you can go to help topics, right? You can go to each one of those. Advanced searches, it'll walk you through a printout, or if you like visuals and have the video in front of you, video tutorials. So if you click on that, it's going to default into their player, so you can connect and hit play, and you can see there you go. Okay, guys, so here's all the topics for videos on the left-hand side. Mapping, comparables, refining values, prospecting is in there. So let's just click on that real quick, just to show you that it works. That music's going to be stuck in your head now, isn't it?
There are two ways that you navigate to our prospecting area.
Okay, so there it is, guys. So I just wanted to point that out to you real quick. So hopefully you got some good information. I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint real quick and wrap this up. If you have any questions, you can just email me at jay@baldwinrealtors.com, or let me show you the other ones. Oh, let's walk away with this, but before we get to the contact information, a couple things I want you to remember about using the CRS text data tool. One, make sure the county defaults to the correct entry, because we have 5 service areas. Okay, so make sure if you were looking in Baldwin, you're in the right county. Searching by subdivision will also incorporate searches for condo complexes. Another thing I pointed out, that when you're doing a search, if you were looking by owner's name, it may not show up because that owner may actually own a property within LLC or a different name. So you may want to do a search by address at that point, okay? Or map, and click on a parcel to find that. If you're having a hard time finding John Smith because he owns that property under an LLC, let's try a different way to doing that search. MLS area and flood zones can be found under the map default overlay. So make sure when you pull up that property report, top right-hand corner will be the map. Bottom right-hand corner of that map, view larger map. That's where you can start setting, you can find the area. And then in the overlays, you can change it to FEMA flood zone maps. And then finally, when printing prospects, the default print label is Avery 5160. Okay, so again, here's where you can find the technical support right through CRS. There's their 800 number, 800-374-7488. Or you can email them at gethelp@crsdata.com. There's a couple screenshots, like I said, at the top of the right-hand corner. You can click on help and find that. Or you can always reach out to myself, Jay Jennings, or Garrett Eichner. My email address is jay@baldwinrealtors.com. Or you can send it to MLS@baldwinrealtors.com, and Garrett and I have access to both of that one. So guys, we are right at a half an hour. Thank you again for spending a half an hour with us during these very interesting times as we're dealing with coronavirus. Make sure you reach out to us if there's any particular topics you would like to see us cover in a future webinar. We'll be more than happy to customize something, but keep your eyes open. We're going to have a lot of new courses, probably twice a week at least, and keep you guys engaged. Again, thank you, be safe, and we'll be seeing you in the near future. Bye-bye.